Hello, everybody. Welcome to my channel. It's Kathy here. It's another episode of Drawing for Beginners, and today I'm going to be showing you how to draw a male face and the differences in drawing between female and male. So, if you were here last week, we did a 3/4 view, and you can find that on my channel. I have a playlist of all the videos for beginner drawing. And this was the female face that we did the 2 episodes ago. This one was colored. It's the only difference what I've been doing. Somebody wanted me to try some pan pastels, and so that's what we did. The drawings that we're going to be doing aren't necessarily realistic, but they're more about proportion and different lines as far as to make it different from a child to a man to a woman. Later in the future, I'll be doing more about realism, but I thought it would be best for you guys to learn the basics of proportion first. So that's why I've done this. Hi, Shauna. How are you? I'm not sure how many I'll get today. It's Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you United States people. Hope your day's great. Hi, Joan. Good to see you. So if you remember the 3/4, we did this one. I think I'm a little bright here. Let me put my exposure down a little bit. Let's see. Brightness. I think we can. That's a little too much. There, that's a little better. So you can see what I'm doing. Hi, Elaine. Hi, Jilly. Good to see you. So, I can't remember who it was, but someone wanted to know how to do a male face and what the differences were as far as making it look male. And it was a good question because there is a difference. Hi, Janet. Are you cooking away? Happy Thanksgiving Day to you, too. And so what I've done is I've drawn out this one face here, and I'm going to show you how to do this. But if you look at, we'll even take a look at this here. This is more of a female face than a male face, this diagram. So with males and teenagers, you can get away with it also. The difference is more angular. Even the eyes are more angular. The nose, the wings of the nose, the jawline is a little wider and angular. Usually has the wider chin opposed to more of a pointy chin you usually use for a woman. Hey, Eileen. So get a piece of paper. So it's basically the same proportions. You do the same way as this guideline that I had you guys download. I'm not sure which video that was, but you can go on. I think it's on Instagram too. You can get it on Instagram. It's Kathy Arbor on Instagram with a hyphen between Kathy and Arbor. But with eyes, I guess you could say they're more, usually the top part of the lid, well, not really the lid, well, the lid's hidden more. And the under the brow, that fatty tissue muscle under the brow usually overlaps the lid itself. And it's not always that way, but a lot of men you will see it, especially older men. Hi, Judy. So it's the same basic rules as far as, just going to put this over here and I'll draw you one out again. So for drawing a head, if you're having troubles finding out where to put the jawline, especially for a male, try drawing a circle first for the top part of his head. And then do your cross lines again, middle. Measure from the middle point to the bottom of the circle, and then that'll be your mark for the bottom of your chin. Hey, Carol. Hi, Kat. Hi, Dar, or Dar. Now, for a male, you can continue this line right down too if you want. Now, this is no longer the center of his face. You have to find the point from here to here. Now you got to find the point of the center, and it's about here. So let's see. My pencil, a little bit lower, about there. Okay. So that's where his nose will be. And then his jawline, wherever his nose is, that's where you start your jawline. So go to the edge of your circle and draw a slight angle. Try to get the same length down, and then angle it again. And then across. And that will give you a rough outline of where you want your jaw. All right. So roll my sleeves up. Okay, so I can rub out this line here. And actually, let's see. No, that was his eyes. His eyes are there, sorry. So you got to figure out what size eye you want. So remember, there's always eye width in between your eyes. So roughly like that. So with eyes, so your nose is going to be here. I'm making this kind of small, but your eyes, if you notice on a lot of people, if you draw the line across where your eyes are going to be, so you don't get mixed up here. the corner where your tear duct is usually a little lower than the other side of your eye. This is usually a little higher. So you can just make a little mark on an angle right here where you want your eyes to start. That's your tear duct. And then with men, I like to go straight up. Try to do it both sides, and it makes it a little easier sometimes. And then I like to go across and then down. This is just an first sketch of where you want to place them. It's not the finished line, it's just a sketch. Mine are dark because I'm using a dark pencil, but when you're doing it, use a very light touch or a light hard pencil so you don't have such a dark line to erase if you decide you don't like it. Then from the tear duct, you go up a little bit. And then you kind of curve down, go straight, and then up. Oh, here comes Chloe. And she's better. Back to her pesky self. Try and get them the same, and it is difficult. I don't know. A lot of times I have to redo them. And then the eyelid, most men, you do see the in the corner here. So it overlaps here and then comes up and then just curves a bit. You see? And then down here, you can just follow the shape of your eye. And then you just mark where the white of the eye would start. And then your eyeball. Make sure they're big enough. A lot of people don't make them big enough. And with men's eyes, you usually only see part of the iris, not the whole thing. Women's eyes are usually a lot wider or bigger, taller, whatever you want to call it. And then make sure your pupil's big enough too. Your pupil is about 1/3 of the width of your eye. All right. Then the eyebrow is also different. Men's eyebrows or the brow of your skull sticks out quite a bit more than women's. And also the eyes are usually more deeper set in the eye socket. So your eyebrows, for a man's eyebrow, I usually start them lower than what a woman's would be and a lot thicker. So I don't curve them much. I just go kind of a straight line and then just a little bit of a dip on the end. And then you thicken them up. Like so. And you can make different shapes if you want. It depends, if you're doing just something out of your head or you're trying to copy something. It's up to you how thick you want them. Okay, so I can rub this line out for you. You can see it a little better. There. Then your nose, the nose is also more angular in shape. Hi, Kim. Usually a little thicker. The wings of the nose, the nostrils are thicker than a woman's nostrils. So you want to give them a little bit of thickness. Sometimes I like to put the nostrils lining up with the corners of your eyes, so where the tear duct is. Now this can change depending on what you're looking at. And the angle that you're looking. But I usually just make some angled marks first to get the and then well, actually, I'll take this out so you can see it better. That mark I had for the nose. So he's got a little bit like that. And then usually depending on the shadowing you want. See, she's back to normal. I liked her better when she was on painkillers. Okay, so I'll erase these. Okay, so that's just the bottom of his nose. I'm not doing anything major right yet. I'm just putting in where I want everything. Okay, the lip, now this chin's probably going to have to be a little bit longer. So they do normally have a little bit of a longer face, bigger head. So let's put the mouth right here. And the mouth can be a little bit past. Now, there are a lot of men that have a very small upper lip. And don't define it so much. You can do where the Cupid's bow is and shade it a little bit, depending on if it's got a lot of facial hair too. The bottom lip, I go straight across and then just a slight angle up. Okay, so let's bring this, now we can adjust this if we want to change this to make it a little bit longer. Let's see. He'll have his, let's give him a nice dominant chin. Don't make it too narrow because that gives it a more feminine look. And don't forget about its cheekbones. It does go out slightly and then come. He does have cheekbones. You don't want to give them too much. It's nice if you can go straight too from the cheekbone, and then if you want to really give them a really powerful look, I guess you could say, try and line up your corners of your. You see, I can see that this side's a little shorter, not as wide. It's a little lower. Let's see. It's a little better. So it's more about angular lines. They can be a little bit curved to soften a real sharp edge, but all in all, it's more angular looking to give it that masculine look. Okay? And notice how wide the bottom of the chin is, opposed to, something very, very thin. Chloe, go upstairs. Hey, Deb. Anyone else I missed? Okay, so then also your hairline. So you wanted about a little more than halfway from between here and here. And then you can make, whatever. Usually they have sideburns. And it usually comes out from the skull. It's not flat on the head unless they're bald. And don't forget their ears. Their ears are from the eye length or the point of the eye. So you just go out slightly, curve in and go out. Now you don't want to make too big of ear. And approximately where the bottom of the nose is, that's where you want your ear. And then you can just like that. And their neck usually starts where the jawline starts to curve. Now, it can be different for each guy. One guy can be thinner than the other, It's still a little big. That's pretty easy to judge. Okay, so with your, I guess I better put his other ear in so you can hear. Well, that's a little big. Don't want them to go surgery. That's about it. My level, let's see. Nope, it's a little low. That's about right. Just a tad low. So, let's see. Right there. Still too big. There. All right. Hi, Ella. Good to see you. All right. So once you get that done, then you can take your paper stump and start blending. And don't use a new one all the time because you want that graphite that's on there to help you with the shading. And again, same applies for the eyes. You want a shadow over the eyeball. As far as lashes, I don't typically put lashes in males. I might darken the line a little bit. And this is where you can start doing your shading for the nose. There's no real major lines for the nose. It's all about shadow and highlight. And again, you can make your nose. Oh, really? That's pretty sassy. Do you have to go outside? Yeah, you. You. Just a minute. Can't believe this. Just miss a beat. I know, I'll take you out. Just hold your horses here. Okay, so I gotta go take Chloe out, apparently. See? And it's all about layers of okay, I'll be right back. Come on. Let's go. Wasn't an emergency, but oh, she just likes to interrupt. All right, now so like your eyes, you want to leave a little bit of white above the eye, between the eyebrow and the eye, because that's the part that sticks out. And your nose will cast a shadow also. It depends if, you know, how much of a ball on his nose you want. Sometimes men have a little dimple on both sides of the nose slightly. Depending on how old the guy is, he may have bigger cheeks. Like older men have jowls. A lot of times too, you'll see a shade between the eyebrows because the brow sticks out quite a bit. So you can emphasize that if they have a protruding brow by shading a little bit on the top part here. It's kind of like the shape of a bird flying. And they do have cheekbones, so you can give them cheekbones. You just don't emphasize, you know, the lips as much as you would a woman. The chin will stick out quite a bit more. So you can emphasize that by your shadowing. And depending on, might have a dimple in his chin. Put some more shading under his neck here. And put some darker areas here because that's where his sideburns would be, or facial hair of some sort. Facial hair, you can make strokes and then just shade it in. Make sure the strokes are going the way the facial hair would be going, though. Just lightly. You can take a look at different men to see where, because not everybody has facial hair all over. Sometimes it's patchy. You might see it on the chin, but around this part, there wouldn't be hardly any, depending on the age too. Make it random. Don't do it in rows, because you'll notice that if you see it done in rows. Facial hair has to be done in stages too. So I like to put marks down and then shade it, and then put more marks down, shade it again, take away with an eraser. Let's see. I think I'm almost done my eraser here. So the chin would have a little bit of sheen to it, so we'll take some away there. You might see the bit of his top lip. You can shade in the bottom lip a bit. Make that a little darker. See, just a little bit of taking off, and then you can add more. When you start adding more, just light specks is all you need, depending on what kind of beard you want. If it's not really a beard, but it's just darker because of he's a brunette or whatever, and his beard is very dark, then you may want to just color it, shade it more darker without the specks. Also with beard is you'll have the specks will be where it sticks out on his chin. There will be less specks, but as soon as it starts to go under his chin, so where the chin starts to roll under, you make the specks more closer together, and that gives you dimension in the chin. Gives it a more realistic look. So it's all about layers, really. See, just keep doing it over and over and over and over and over and over again. Takes a while. Men's faces do take a while. When you're doing the templed areas too, you want to do not a line. So See, this line should be taken out, really. Again, I'm kind of getting a little away from simple. And you would just want to fleck which way the hair would be going along the edge of his face, and then color or shade it in. See? And the sides of his head would be a little more shaded. Men's foreheads are also more angular. You see that some people have like two balls, one here and one here. And some people just have the one in the center. So you kind of have to look and judge it by how the shading, the shadows taken around it. And it's very faint, usually faint, but it will make a difference in that person that you're drawing. Okay, let's finish the eyes. I find the eyes are the biggest thing. If you don't get them right, they never look real. He's going to have dark, dark eyes. So we'll just shade them up a little bit more because they are very deep set in the head. Okay. And then we have to put a highlight. So I guess we'll do the highlight here. And we'll have a little bit of a dot there. Highlight will be there. Okay. No, I'm not going to get too detailed in this. This is just a simple man's face, okay? And you can finish however you want to do the beard. It's just a matter of putting in more. So any questions? And then you can add your hairstyle however you want. Let's take this line out. Where's my eraser? Use your eraser if it's you don't want a line, but you just want some of it taken out. There. Thanks, Joan. Any questions? You want me to go deeper in? I did have a request on lips. So I can show how to do a lip. Here, I've got another one here. I'll remove these and we'll do a lip. All right. Now, when you've drawn your lips where you want them, if you want to do just a simple lip, go to my first beginner class on faces, and I show you different stages of doing a lip. If you want to do it a little more with detail in it, then draw your center points first. So do 2 little dots on the end and a line across where you want your lip to go. Okay? And smudge those in and the line. Then where your Cupid's bow here, just do the top like an M, however you want. Depends on the style you want. And then don't connect it to the corners here yet. Just do a little bit of a soft curved line under where you want the bottom lip. Then the top lip, try and get a bunch of graphite on a piece of paper. And take your stump and dirty up your stump. Your top lip is usually darker than your bottom lip. So I want you to go up and down where you want your lip to go. You don't want a real definite outline. You just want it colored. And then you can do the same with the bottom. The bottom is a little bit lighter. So put a base coat on your bottom lip. Like so. Then, to make it look like it's not flat, it's a matter of putting more graphite on the corners and just underneath where the mouth opens. And then you shade that in. Shade it into the other area. Don't go all over though, just in those areas. Okay. Try to get it as smooth as you can. And then on the bottom lip, because this part sticks out the most, this part, especially where the opening of the mouth is, has a little bit of a shadow also. And depending on the shape of the lip, you might want to dip it down just a slight bit. And the corners need to be just slightly shadowed. And then you shadow that in. And take it underneath. And just lightly gradient it out. Okay. Then you can take your eraser and then just dab I like to take a little bit off of the center of the top lip, going up to the top, because it sometimes it sticks out, not all the time, but sometimes it does. Let's make his a little bit less. And you can fix the edges up. And then you can take a stiffer eraser and take out more for highlights. And it's usually on the front of the bottom lip. And then just a tad on the top lip, very top. Let's clean the sides up a little bit. So we don't need that heavy line anymore. And we can lighten that up a little. There. So it just gives it a little bit of light to the sides, just a smidge. It depends on, you know, how much you want. I always like the in the center. Just it gives it a little bit of dimension that way. Hey, Debbie. So try not to put a line around the top, because most people don't have, unless you have your old-fashioned way of doing makeup and outlining your lip. Okay, that's lips. That's how I normally, and you can play with it. This is your friend. The eraser is your friend. If you find you put too much on, just dab it. See, it takes a whole lot off, but it doesn't make a line. Okay, so hopefully that see, there's that mouth, helped you out. And also around the mouth, you have to remember how to shade with. Now this is getting a little more on the realistic side, but if you just want something basic, that's the way to just do a simple mouth if you don't want to get into too much detail. Okay. So again, if you want to practice, go into sports magazines for men or men's magazines, and there's all kinds of faces. Or go on the internet and look up male faces, and you can say front view or 3/4, whatever, and then it'll show you all that. Also, I remembered, and I don't think anyone has mentioned it, but I remembered the Kathy Berg wanted to know about the whiteboard. So I will get a piece of my whiteboard. This is whiteboard. It's white. That's what it looks like on the back. So it's like your clipboards that you get. It's very, very, like I can't bend it. And it's only 1/8 of an inch thick. But it comes with this, there's a bit of tooth to it. Just a very slight bit. But you can draw on it. I'll show you what the tooth looks like. And you can paint on it because I used it down in my basement for the wallboard. And it's the paint, acrylic paint, stuck to it just fine. And I have looked online about it. It smooths out. It would be great for drawing with. Painting, let's see. Let's get some paint here. Blue paint. Goes on just like it would a canvas. And like I said, I've painted my walls with acrylic paint downstairs, and it's perfect. It doesn't come off. And it's a whole lot cheaper than the stuff you buy in the stores. So I like this because it's already pre-painted. And this stuff is like, I don't know what they're using, but you can't scratch it off. Whereas I don't know if the gesso, let's see, if we were to do, let's paint this and see if once I dry it. Now, I don't know whether this would work. But this is great for mixed media, or if you're going to do anything that is a lot of meat, wax or stuff that you can't have a flexible substrate, then this stuff is great. No, it's not bad. Nope, it's not coming off. So you could get the plain one, but heck, why get a plain one when you can get the white ones and not worry about it? You know what I mean? And this does have a bit of tooth, so I don't know how they're putting it on, but the back one, that's completely smooth. So it depends if you want a tooth or not. I guess you could get the white one and use either side then. But this, you don't have to worry about it being too slick. That's what I like about it. Does it have a sheen to it? No, it doesn't. Doesn't. See? It's matte. That's what I like. And it's not going to come off. Like you can see the, let's see. See the tooth? So there is a bit of tooth to it. No, it doesn't. It does not have a sheen to it. I would say it's matte. Let's check out. While we're at it, let's see if Pan Pastels will go on it. Why not? Get my. No. Doesn't pick up that much. It's a bit, but not enough. Not like paper. See, paper's much, it grabs it more. Now, whether this would grab it if it was on gesso, yeah, probably. But if you want to do collage, you know, something that you don't want it to move or it's going to have a lot of heavy stuff on it, then this stuff is great because you can go to Home Depot where you buy it and ask them to cut it into whatever you want. And they come in, you can buy them in 2 feet by 4 feet or 4 feet by 8 feet. Yeah, it's called whiteboard here too. Don't get the whiteboard though that you're thinking of using the whiteboard markers. That's totally different. That's not the same. You could probably ask for hardboard but white. That would probably be the safer way to ask about it. Yeah, don't get shower board. It's a masonite hardboard. Yeah, Home Depot, Rona, Home Hardware, all them, they all have them. I've seen them everywhere, but they're a whole lot cheaper because I think the just the plain masonite is something like $7 for a 4 by 8 foot board. I think this is $12 if you want it white. And that's Canadian, so it might be a whole lot cheaper in the US. Yeah, so great idea for alternatives. That way you can make them whatever size you want. Kathy, try the pens on the wood side. The pans? Oh, okay. Okay, why did... Yeah, well, it's not bad. So it grabs it a little more. You could get away with it. Let's see what it does with the paint. Take some of this off. Yeah, so if you wanted to paint and use this, it goes on quite nice. So it depends if you want, the brown underneath or not. Yeah, so awesome idea. I just came across that at Home Depot when I had to buy building materials, and I had ordered the white stuff, and the guy says, "Oh, are you an artist?" I said, "What?" He goes, "Oh yeah, lots of artists here buy that for their canvases." And I thought, "Oh, what a great idea! It's a whole lot cheaper." All right. Last week, I haven't made the video. Well, I made the video, but I haven't had a chance to edit, but it will be going up next week. And I'm starting to do journal pages again. So this is my latest one. And it's done with tissue paper, scrapbook paper, paint. I drew her out and then just painted her. Stencils, pens, markers. Yeah, resin would be a good one, Debbie. So I'm going to be doing a lot more of these type of videos, but edited. Is there anything you guys would like me to do as a video? I would like to know. If you could leave a comment down below, that would be great. I did get some more books. And I'll show you. Now, for the colored pencil person that loves to do portraits, I found this fantastic book. Now, mind you, it is very advanced, so you'll have to take a mind with that. But excellent, excellent book on how to use color. And she gives you step by step. So she uses a lot of colored backgrounds. So this is an awesome book. If you want to get this book or any of the books, I now have an Amazon influencers page, they call it now. So if you look on my channel, on the header, there's a little Amazon button. Just check that and it'll take you to my page and it'll show you all the books I have and all the supplies. And that would be appreciated if you could do that. So this is a really awesome book. And another one that is awesome for drawing, I've got the paint or the pencil one. There's one for colored pencils. And this one is for graphite drawings. And it's a step-by-step. And it tells you different textures, brick. There's fabrics and animal fur, hair, skin. This is a really good book for reference. If you don't know how to get that look, this is excellent. Then I saw this one. This is a really thick book. And this is an awesome book for drawing. And it's just not color or pencil crayon. It's also pastel, pencil crayon, or colored pencil, pastels, different types of chalk, charcoal, and it also gives you, it's kind of a step out. But he explains all the areas, so like he shows you the picture, and then he explains how he got that effect on the side. Janet. Did you get this one? This is a good one. And then I had to get Mark Curley's new book. But I find this book is very similar to his last one. It's just, it's bigger and explains a little bit more about his using his pencil, and then he uses a Prismacolor black. But this is a really good one for showing the differences when you add that punch of black, how much more interesting and realistic your drawings will look. So this is a good book. I do like it. But it'll be fun to do some of these. And he's got all different types of, you know, faces, fur, that type of thing. Portrait. And then I got this. Cover to cover. This is a really neat book. This is the revised one. I think Dee Dee showed this on her last show or the show before. It's on my new shopping channel, Janet. So this gives you some really neat binding techniques. Because what I'm thinking of doing is using file folders to make a book. And because I was thinking of, you know, the Diane Reevely journals. Really, it's file folder, manila folders that she's using in that book. And I do like using that for mixed media because it doesn't make the paper wave or curl. So I thought, I'm going to just go get a bunch of file folders and then do my own binding on them when I'm done. And that way you could do each page individually first if you wanted to, and then bind it all together later. Oh, you got this one? It's a really good book. I like it. I really do. Well, then, if you're going to get a book on binding, well, you need some binding stuff, don't you? But this was a really good deal. I think it cost me $13. And you get your bone folders and 2 of these. And then you get a bunch of needles in this. And then you get one of these, pokies. And then you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 colors of the waxed, whatever they call it, binding string. So guess what I'm going to be doing? But I thought, I'm going to make my own. That's a whole lot easier than making or buying those books. And then I can make them any size I want. I did a journal like that. Use tape to bind. Yeah, I've seen the tape ones too, but I like a Copic stitch because it lays flat. Binding tape? No. There was a whole bunch of different ones that had even more than this in them, but I just got this one. Why do I need binding tape too? This is the new revised one, Eileen. The 20th edition. Let's see. The first one came out in 1998. And this one was published in 2015. His binding kit. Yes, it is. It's on my Amazon store. If you want to go through me, that would be great. And again, well, I should put it in. I'll put it in the me as well. And this will take you. That'll take you to my store. Yeah, so I thought, I may as well open a store. I'm showing enough stuff. I may as well get a little bit of a payback. So that's it for that, which is enough. Oh, no, I got some more of these. I love these pencils. The woodless. So you get 2 in a package. These are Pentalic graphite. You can get them in different softness. This one's this is just an HB. But I like them because you don't have to worry about the wood not being, or the lead not being centered, and they don't break. I don't find that they break. long as you're not throwing them down or anything, but I do have these in my store also. Yes, she should. Well, she does have one. She does have a store. She just doesn't share the store with us. She hoards. All right. So that's it for that, unless you guys want me to start a new video on, I did see some really cool things on jelly plating with pastels. Would you like me to start that? Yes, she has a vault. Yes, that's right. If you go through my link first and then buy whatever you're going to get, it still goes through me. Okay, that's what I'll do. So I'll end this video and then I'll start a new one. Okay? Okay, we'll see you in a bit.